What's up, everybody? It is Friday, May 19th. This is the Friday wrap-up. My name is Paul Stevenson. I'm one of the co-founders of ReferralMortgages.com. Thank you for tuning in. Everyone on Blue Panda's feed, thank you for tuning in. I think the best way for us to do this is maybe do a quick roundtable here. Everyone introduce themselves, because we're going to have kind of viewers from different networks here. So I'll pass it over to you, sir.
Pass it over to me, Greg Campbell, realtor at Blue Panda Realty. Located in Westboro. It's a little boutique brokerage. Some amazing people working over there, and we're looking to do something new and fresh for the city in terms of real estate. I can answer any of your questions. I've been in the business for almost 10 years, and I love it.
Oh, folks, Matt Greg here, celebrating my 2-year anniversary with ReferralMortgages.com.
That's awesome.
Self-employed life never felt so good. Yeah, that's who I am.
Sweet.
Hey guys, my name is Jamil Bouya. I am the founder of Burgers and Fries Forever and co-founder of YellowScrub.com. Two totally related things. I'll let you figure out what they are if you haven't heard of us. Just wanted to say thank you guys for having me. Super pumped to basically drop some knowledge bombs on you guys today.
Boom.
Yes.
David Warren with Referral Mortgages, co-owner as well along with Paul. Started this about 4 years ago and going strong with young Vito on the team.
Yeah, we're coming up 4 years, June 1st. It'll be 4 years. Yeah, it's wild.
This guy's Vito, if you didn't catch that, by the way.
Yeah, go Sens. I want to make a quick shout out to my brother as well. It's his birthday today, so I got to give him a little love. So BFF, the reason why we want to bring Jamil on, BFF is our official partner. So anyone watching right now, just so you know, to qualify for a meal for two at Jamil's new restaurant on Dalhousie, there's 2 locations now in Ottawa, all you have to do is tag your BFF. Tag your BFF in either feed and you'll automatically qualify. We're into the draw live next week. And as far as BFF, I'm actually going to put the first question over to you, Jamil. So what is BFF? Why did you start that business? And what's your why, I guess, as a company?
Burgers and Fries Forever. So the big thing is I love to eat, if that wasn't obvious. I love restaurants. I love everything it stands for. That was, growing up in a pretty poor family, you have a lot of issues at home and financially and all this and that. So our escape was just kind of getting outside the home, getting outside all the problems, and just having a good meal. Kind of getting excited about what you're going to order, what it is, and I kind of fell in love with restaurants from there. It really helps that I have a great appetite and all that good stuff, but that's kind of where BFF started. But the business itself really came around when I was put in a corner, kind of like most entrepreneurs. You're scared, you don't really know where you're going, you lack the confidence, the job market's not really around, you're not happy with something in life, and then a crazy thing happens. You start to believe in yourself a little, and based on working in the restaurant industry for many years, being in the government, not being able to lock down a stable job. Thank you, Mr. Harper, at the time. The student budget freeze actually made my dreams come true. I decided to start BFF. Traveled to quite a few, close to 15 different countries, saw a bunch of restaurants, and just got super inspired, and wanted to create a really cool burger joint, but not just a burger joint, a fry joint as well. So that's where BFF came from, equality for burgers and fries forever.
And you guys are unique in the sense that you also use full halal meat, correct? I think that's the first of its kind in Ottawa, at least?
Yeah, so we're fully halal. We basically see ourselves as a Canadian burger joint. So growing up as a kid, I had friends from everywhere. It didn't matter what color you were, what size, shape, race, any of that stuff. You were all friends. We're all open to picking on each other.
Yeah.
That's what friends do, right? And so we wanted BFF to kind of be like that, representative of a Canadian burger joint. So it doesn't matter where you're from, what you believe in, how you eat, whether you're vegan, you have celiac disease, you're vegetarian, dairy-free. We want you to be able to come and just comfortably eat at BFF, not worry about anything. So that's kind of where the name really comes from.
Now, for someone who is vegan like Greg here, or vegetarian at least.
No, we'll say plant-based. we'll say 98% plant-based. A lot of people don't even know that yet that know me, so that'll be interesting. Yeah, I've never spoken about it.
And I don't know if are you at liberty to talk about your new adventures?
Oh, no, not yet. Not yet.
But for someone like that, I mean, I know halal is one way, but I mean, there still is the option of fries and whatnot, right? So you're not completely exclusive to meat.
Do you have any
we have a
veggie burgers?
We have a vegan falafel patty that we make in-house. That's bound with rice flour, so it's also gluten-free. We also have a deep fried veggie burger that's made out of portobello mushrooms, roasted garlic, black bean, and broccoli. And that one is, it's quite good.
Guess where I'm bringing my family next Monday.
All right. 278 Dalhousie or 329 Bank Street. All right.
And if you want to try it, all you got to do is tag your BFF, and you can have it on the house.
And
right?
there you go.
And what else do you have that's...
Honestly, we have a lot of options. So even for people, you know, who are looking to cut back on their carbs a little, we have a lettuce wrap. We have a vegan whole wheat bun. We have a gluten-free bun as well. So we have many different options. We got about 12 different fries because, you know, equality for burgers and fries means we need some crazy friggin' fries out there. So, you know, we do as much as we can. We just want it to be really fun. We don't think it's necessarily about the burgers and fries. It's about the atmosphere and just like the hype that people feel when they see a crazy burger. They're like, I don't even know what this is. Or, you know, we source some crazy ingredients where people can't even say the name properly. And you see someone come in, they're like, what is togarashi? And we're like, it's Japanese 7-spice. They're like,
obviously.
Yeah.
What do you think it is?
Yeah. So, you know, it's like experience, just even educating people on what they're consuming. That for them is super exciting, right? And they're just like, oh, cool, I didn't know you can make this. Or what is this note I am tasting? You know,
It's true. The fries are definitely the Robin in the Batman and Robin scenario, right?
Yeah. So we don't call them sides. You know, each fry gets a house-made dip of choice because, hey, fries ain't boring. They're just as exciting. You know, you got to give those guys a chance.
Love you.
I agree.
So what is, to date, what's your number one burger? Like, what's kind of the hot seller?
We got quite a few. We have the original. It's nice and simple. It's a good intro burger for people who are, you know, they're a little like, oh, some of these choices are too crazy. Because at our Bank Street location alone, we have close to 30 burgers, including our secret menu and our burger of the month. So just lettuce, tomato, onion, and our BFF sauce. We also have the American and the Mexican that are quite popular. Spicy bowl barbecue. Anyways, I can go on and on and on about food.
You're very passionate.
The whole menu is great.
We don't have that much time, guys. So if you really
Okay,
want
so
to try it out, tag a BFF.
Yeah, tag your BFF and enjoy that beautiful restaurant. So let's switch over to real estate then.
Yes.
So as someone who's completely outside of the real estate game, what would be a question that you would direct potentially at a realtor? If Greg and I had a meeting. Greg and I are part of a business group, the Orleans Power Team, and Greg was actually hosting it this week, and he asked everyone in the group to write down one question that they would ask their realtor if they were buying or selling, and every single question was different, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm asking you the same thing. So what would be one question you would ask Greg as your realtor?
You know, as a guy who still hasn't bought a house yet and I'm still renting, you know, there's so much information out there that it's really hard to sort through, right? And with the advent of the internet and forums and everything, everyone thinks they can kind of DIY their next mortgage, right?
Yeah.
And then you come to realize there's so many loopholes, legal requirements. There's so much stuff we don't know anything about, right? And then you have the news, you have people tweeting stuff, and it's like all this information. It's like,
Just an
whoa.
overload.
It's like, I don't even know what to ask them. I don't even know what to look for. So it brings in some fear. It's like, oh man, this is a huge step in my life. There's so much information out there. How do we get through all this stuff? Like, what is the, you know, what's the biggest misconception that people have about real estate? It can be really hard to get through all this and cut through the noise because it's scary. Like, you know, you're doing this for the rest of your life, your family, your friends. You know, everything's around this next decision. How do you cut through and make like a solid decision other than hiring?
I feel like you're speaking for everyone. Like
Yeah.
that's like a very.
That was an amazing intro into that's and that's the biggest misconception is misinformation.
Yeah.
Because there's, like you said, there's so much of it that how do you figure out what is what's real, who do you listen to, and where do you?
Everyone's got an opinion.
How do you make the right move, right? And that's where professionals like myself and like these wonderful gentlemen for your mortgage needs come into play. It's amazing how diplomatic we have to be when we sit down in front of a client for the first time or even the second, third time and just listen to what they have to say, and then you try to be like, you know, you have to accept it for what it is when you know that there's not really much flexibility at times. You just kind of have to act more like a guide instead of just saying like, well, it's this way, this way. I mean, some agents will. I like to kind of just build a relationship and more like guide them in the right direction as things evolve. You know, people think that their home may be worth a certain amount when really it's not, because we all know the market dictates what your property is worth if you're selling. And a a buyer, your home is only worth what a buyer is willing to spend on your home. So you try to judge that accordingly, depending on what time of year it is and what the market's doing. You know, and then buyers coming in, sometimes they'll just be like, all they do is they hear all these outside influences from their family members. Or I'll never forget one time I was in the middle of a negotiation, and I knew that the home was worth a certain amount. The buyers were willing to pay it, but then someone came in and then they were like, no, we can't do it. Someone's, you know, we've been talking to our family and they're, you know, they don't think it's worth that much. And I'm like, really, your family? And I'm like, who? They're like, well, we were talking, our uncle's been over from Ireland. And he's talking, and I'm like, oh.
He's the real estate expert.
Like, the uncle from Ireland knows what's going on in Ottawa real estate right now. He's the expert. But whatever, it led to a deal that fell apart, but it came back when they kind of snapped out of it, and they were like, we don't know what we were thinking. And I'm like, okay, you know, but that's when you come into a situation like that, how do you, like, what do you say? Like, you can't say, well, your uncle's an idiot. You just can't do that,
I mean,
right?
I think to some degree you say, you know, I am the expert here.
Yeah, but that creates a conflict, though, right?
But
if you're trying to build a rapport.
but that's the thing. But you're right. But you have to do it in a sense where it's like, look, this is what's been selling. This is a similar home that's sold at this price. I go, they're selling fast. I go, chances are this won't be here in the next couple of days. You know, and then you just present them with everything and say, but, you know, ultimately it's your decision. I go, you know, my job is to take you through the process, guide you, tell you what I feel is right as a professional in the industry. And then, you know, the people are going to do what they're going to do.
To your point, you were talking about like access to information online, and Greg and I were kind of discussing this. Perfect segue, actually, because we were discussing this right before we came on, was that people now with the Comfrees and the you know, what's Grapevine, things like that, they give you the tools that you need. But there's two sides. There's the tools, and then there's also the knowledge, right? So when you're trying to do it yourself, you get all the tools, but you lack that knowledge. So when you're trying to negotiate or when you're trying to actually get your deal done, you realize, like you said, like there's so much that you don't know that those tools are just not enough usually to get you to where you want to be, or kind of to meet your expectations, right?
All tools, no toolbox.
That's it.
All tools, no toolbox.
Greg is the toolbox.
This guy's just.
Yeah.
I love it.
So do you find, I mean, who's getting more flustered with the overflow of information? Is it the older folk that's finally deciding to buy? Is it the younger folk? I would say the youths are more like risk free, right? You know, buying a house, that seems to be the thing to do. They're just doing it. Like, are people saying, this is way too complicated, I'm just gonna rent? And are you like, nah, like that's not what you should do. Like, learn it. Like, let's figure this out.
That came up too this week at the conversation. It's like, you know, people are, everybody is different. Everybody's got their own perspective. Everybody's going to do their own thing. So it's like a little bit of both. I find that most of the more seasoned clients will be more aware of what's going on in terms of like letting a realtor in and taking the advice and the help of a professional. Whereas some of the younger people, I wouldn't say the young, but I'd say like the mid-level people that maybe they did a transaction before, maybe they sold a property, maybe they had a bad experience with the realtor, they think they can do it themselves. And I mean, some people can do it themselves. If they're in sales, like I've seen people, you know, be very successful at it. But then a lot of people go through it thinking they can do it because they have, as you said, like these so-called tools that think they make it easier. They're like, oh yeah, just go on here, just take your own photos, put it up, it'll be great, it'll sell for sure. Whereas, you know, as a realtor, we look at them all, and sure, if it's the perfect home, then we'll call them and take our client to it. But chances are most listings that have shitty photos and are on a for sale by owner site, generally they're overpriced to begin with.
Absolutely.
And it's just a fact. I mean, the glossy photos help bring people in, whether it's worth it or not.
The fish lens.
But the fish, yeah.
Well, another misconception, I think, and I'm interested to hear your take, because I feel like there's probably a lot of people that come into even the first interaction with misconceptions. So they're coming in, they figure that you're going to be, they either heard something, they figure that you're going to try to sell them on something. So I think your approach and just kind of guiding them but letting them make decisions, I think is a great approach, right? Because I think a lot of people, they hear so much noise before they actually get to the transaction, and when they get there, they're kind of keeping you at a distance, or they're keeping you at arm's length, thinking that you're almost the enemy, right? As opposed to working with them.
Some are.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I'm lucky in the sense where I work with a lot of people that I meet through other people, so it's not like, sorry, we have a question? Is that what's happening? No?
Just stop.
waving your finger at?
It's a Kembe over here.
You meet. Oh goodness, where was I here now?
Working with a lot of your friends.
Working with a lot of friends. So yeah, sure. So if you come in, if you meet somebody new, I mean, I think we're all pretty good judge of characters. You know, with people that we work with, but you have to. Oh man, I'm totally zoning out.
I was just talking about people coming in with a preconception, I guess, of that you're going to try to sell them on something.
Yes,
right?
that you're going to try to sell them, and like I don't ever try to sell anyone on anything, but I do know when it's the exact time, like, because you can feel it. I mean, if you're good at what you do and you're standing in that room and you're in that house and you're talking about doing an offer, and then it's like, you know, they don't know what to do, then it's like, look, yeah guys, like, let's do this, like, this is the one, you know. So
these are the steps.
These are the steps, let's go, this is what's going to happen, let's start it now. You know, and because some people do need that extra push, they might just be standing there like, you know.
You know, I have a little story to touch on that. When Papo and I bought our first house,
Steve Papo, also realtor at Blue Panda, epic human. He's behind the cameras today.
there was in the inspection report potential traces of asbestos because of when the home was built. And you know, classic. We were young. Our parents were co-signing. Oh man, you could tell the realtor was frustrated. They were like, "This is a fucking good home, guys. This is a good home." Okay.
But did he have an answer for you? How to deal with it?
He said, "This is a good home, and this is not a problem, and you guys are fine, and you're overreacting to this little tidbit."
You heard the key word. Asbestos, like, whoa.
In the inspection, because really there was no.
There was no asbestos.
There is no asbestos, and there's been samples and tests done in different areas in the attic and in the walls or whatever, however you do the tests. And there was no traces.
Oh, okay.
But because of when the house was built and the materials they're using at that time, the inspector has to say there could be asbestos containing
95% of the properties in
But who
Ottawa have the possibility of being asbestos because of the time frame.
But again, a misconception, asbestos, we're thinking, shoot, like, we can't buy this house. Like, how are we going to resell it, you know?
But it was tested before you went in?
The owners, it's been sold multiple times in a short period because it was flipped at one point, so definitely there was the reports done because it always
so
has
you
come
saw
up.
the reports.
So we saw the reports and it was fine, but it was like one of those preconceptions, you know, going into it, that the realtor had to calm us down. Basically say, you know, there's two moms and two kids buying a house, you know. Lots of opinions, lots of voices, and you could just tell he was a seasoned vet in the game for sure. It was our friend's dad, and he was like, guys, look, this is a good, solid, quality home. It's a good price, okay? There's multiple offers. We had to go in for asking price, you know. And I think we've never looked back once. The topic has never came back once since the day we made the offer. It was such a big deal at the time.
The biggest thing that I've seen, honestly, is you guys are like multi-talented in the sense that you guys are masseuses, therapists. You have to calm people down.
So true.
You have to basically, because for us, you know, speaking of grapevine, 5 years ago, I tried to list my parents' home. I was like, man, I can do this. This is no problem. Some of the pictures look like crack dens. You know, it's like we couldn't get the wide angle going. The lighting was terrible. And managing expectations is so hard because we're thinking we're going to get $500K for this house, no problem. People are going to be begging us to get this thing. This is a nice home, good area. We don't know anything about anyone else's property value, nothing. You know, we're just thinking we're ballers. We're like, we got this. We have all the tools that we need, but we have no toolbox. We literally don't know what the hell's out there, why it's out there, really. And that's the thing. Like, even, you know, I have a commercial real estate agent for my restaurants, and this guy is basically, I call him my masseuse. I was like, hey, listen, like, does this make sense? Like, calm me down here. Like, give me some information. Let's get some back and forth. And you know, I don't even feel like he's my agent anymore. He's, oh my God, he's my BFF, you know? It's like, a good agent doesn't just tell you how much something's worth. He literally now, he's my negotiator. He is my consultant, you know, as they say in The Godfather, my consigliere. He will go up to landlords for me and find out, you know, what the history is like, what the plumbing, the electrical, all these things that I wouldn't even dream of thinking about, that's a great price, that's a great price, that's a great price. And he's like, this is why it's a great price. This is crap. You should not get this, or this is great. It might be a little expensive, and same thing with the whole asbestos thing, right? Like you just don't know. You think you know, but you experience. The greatest thing about experience is you can manage expectations. Mm-hmm. If you know something's going to sell for this amount, it doesn't matter where your expectations are. The moment they go below the line of reality, your expectations are below reality, you're super happy because everything above your expectations is a win. Yeah. And that, I think, is like the biggest thing about an agent, right? They really help manage those expectations and just make it a pleasurable experience. If you know you're going to get shafted, at least, hey, I know I got shafted. Like I expected
you go in with
getting shafted, right? But if you don't know what to expect, it's just a roller coaster. It's like, oh, I think this is great, or oh, it's so hard.
It's true. And I go into, I've been involved in quite a few transactions, and every time I go into it, I just walk into it with zero. Like I walk in going like clean,
present,
nothing. Yeah. I'm just not thinking anything until I'm exactly in there and I start dealing with the situation, right? Because if you go in thinking ahead of yourself, you never know what you're getting into, right?
Registered real estate therapist. That should
Registered real estate therapist.
That should be your title on LinkedIn. Yeah.
/
And RET.
RET.
The rewrite.
Paul Stevenson.
So let's talk wins. Let's talk wins for the week. It's been a sunny week. It's been beautiful out, but real estate related, I guess. Dave, why don't you give us a win?
It kind of stems off of that misconception, if you will. Win this week, client buying a home, was listing his place in Orleans, going to buy a new place, pull the equity, needed that profits to purchase that new home, but always wanted to own a rental property, just assumed that he always needed 20% down, which was correct, but never thought he could ever get that. So he's like, I'll sell my place, pull the equity out. So we talked to him and just said, well, if you want to sell it, you have enough equity for the price point you're looking at. We can refinance this house, keep it, turn it into a rental where he's now going to cash flow $300 a month, and pull the equity out to buy that new place. So he thought, I'll never be able to own it. I'll never be able to have a rental because I'm going to have to save up 20% to buy that place. Again, it's true, but misconception that you can turn your current property into a rental and still buy your next property that you're going to move into at 5% down.
Yeah,
and that's from him just listening to what he thinks he can do because of information flying around, or friends and family.
So we were able to.
That's awesome.
So we were able to take his property off the market that he had listed, and get an appraisal done. Found a property, put a conditional offer in up for 10 days. Within that 10 days, we got an approval on the refinance, got it appraised. Knew the equity was there, got the approval on the purchase, keeping his current place out as a rental, using market rent, whether he has a lease in place or not by the time of closing, and he's happy. He thought that he would never be able to own a rental property for down the road or anything like that, and with being able to get him what he needs for the cost of holding it, it's with what he'll get for it for rents, he'll still cash flow a few $100, so it kind of helps to build his long-term wealth, his net worth, as opposed to just selling it, taking that extra, $15K, $20K now he's, which would have just gone to savings, whatever, which is great, but instead now he's got an asset that he's going to continue paying down principal, it's going to build in value, it's in, a good area.
And you're a hero, and now you're a hero.
Yeah, so it's, it was a great win, but also kind of leading into that, misinformation that you can turn your current properties into a rental.
To be clear, we're not hating on friends and family. I would just say,
very good point.
Yeah,
very good point.
I would just say use that as information building. Like talk to your friends and family, get all that. Like do
and
it.
ask
talk
us the question.
Yeah, and then speak to a professional and say, this is what I've heard. What are your thoughts? As opposed to this is what I've heard and I don't care what your thoughts are. Right?
Well, I'll say this much. Think about your jobs, what you do professionally. Would you ever allow your family and friends to go to your workplace and replace you? Because that's essentially what they're trying to do in any scenario where they're offering you advice where you require a professional. Like, would you let someone go in to your job, represent you and your reputation and everything you built, and just go in and be like, hey, I know how to do your job. I'll do it for you.
That's an awesome point.
I always use the example
You never do that.
Of an electrician. Like if Greg's an electrician and all my boys tell me like, guy, trust me, you only have to do this, just run the wire, you can plug it here, and I go to Greg and he's like, listen, we have to do this, this is code, I'm telling you, I've been doing this for years.
You might die.
I'm like, Trust me, I know. My boys have told me this is how we need to do it. You know, it's funny. I never. Yeah,
point.
that's a really good
This
point.
guy should be on every week.
I know. Yeah, new host. Well, I mean, as a partner, we could have him on maybe once a month. We'll have the BFF in.
Don't just flip burgers.
Well, the other thing too, I mean,
Business
how
owner.
important, like you talk about culture and community and things like that, like how important is customer service in your business? Because I mean, for us, it's all about building those relationships, and we love what we do, so we genuinely want, if Greg's a client or Steve's a client or, you know, John Smith or Jen Smith is a client, we want to do well by them, right? Because I mean, it's in our best interest to do that, and that's what we get, that's where the enjoyment comes from for us. So for you, and I know customer service is always a topic of conversation, how important is that customer service aspect, like the experience for people going into your restaurants?
Well, you know, I'm gonna flip it completely on you, because it's pretty obvious at a restaurant. Everyone's been to a restaurant. Everyone, their grandmother and their kids will go to a restaurant. But on the flip side of it, I myself am also purchasing someone else's services. So I'm talking about electricians and contractors, and for them to just flip it on people, right? Like as a restaurateur, you have to offer good service. It's a very basic tenant, very basic need. But for me, I'm always willing to pay a professional properly for their service and not disrespect them, because whether it's my plumber, my electrician, they pay me back tenfold with amazing free advice. Like they have my back, where they have saved me so much money in the future because I developed a proper relationship with them from day one and trusted them, that now half the time when I have a problem, like, hey, I have leaky pipes, or you know, my breaker tripped, or I'm purchasing new equipment, will it actually hook up and not cause, you know, a power failure?
Well, we'll have to send someone out. Yeah, they'll actually help.
They literally will just give me free advice over the phone now. They're like, Jamil, I don't want to come in and waste your time and money. Try this, this, and that first.
Yeah.
Or they'll actually go out of their way to call my equipment guys and actually talk to them. So customer service, it's developing a long-term relationship, similar with you guys. Like, you're not going to go and shop around with 10 different mortgage brokers. You don't build a relationship with anybody. These guys, and you know, it is a two-way street. Like, why should they go out and help you and really go hustle and really, you know, boots on the ground type of thing if you don't even trust them? And that's the thing I do with my contractors. So I'm just trying to flip the script and show that, like, it's not just we need to be respectful, you know, it's a two-way street. These guys need to respect your time, right? And they need to build your trust, because at the end of the day, this is how you build a relationship, and this is how you're going to make sound decisions, right? Because a mortgage could be a 20-year lifelong decision. But if you're going to keep just going around and never building a relationship with any of these guys, well, you're never going to really have anybody watching out for you.
All right. Well,
Fantastic point.
Matt, did you have? You said you were talking earlier about a story.
On the level of service, unreal point. Unreal point, because as mortgage brokers, we get rate shopped all the time,
Yeah.
and we get so devalued. You know, we get angry, but at the same time, we
Frustrated.
We're open to it because we want to fight. I mean, I'm competitive. We're competitive. We want to fight for that business, even if you're not valuing our service, because we want to come out with the win, right? And prove that we, you know, could match your rate shop and give you still top.
But also
service.
show them that it's more than rate. Like,
Yes.
a lot of the time it's
Yes.
that, again, speaking of misconceptions, they think it's all about rate, and it's our job to educate them that, listen, rate is important. It will always be important because it's your money, but there's more to it than rate. And people don't understand that, and that's our job, is we have to educate them. And that's where we can differentiate ourselves, is because when they are rate shopping, we can show them that, like, it's not about rate. Like, this is why you're going to get value from us, because we're going to give you the good rate and we're going to give you plus, 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 plus.
I mean, ongoing help and service. Like, absolutely. If you built a relationship with us and you got questions in the real estate market, mortgages, whatever, they could confidently ask us, because we have a relationship established, you know.
And there's value in that
And
too,
there's
right?
a lot of value in that. So, you know, keeping on the topic, it's funny that you guys were talking about customer service. You know, we're ramping up now. Real estate market's ramping up, and we're hitting 4 years. We're definitely getting busy. So it's the long weekend. I'm working late last night, okay? I worked till 2 a.m. Wanting to catch up because I wanted to have an early day kind of and get my weekend started. So biting the bullet. But so my friend calls me at 1:30 a.m. and he's like, "Oh man, I was expecting to get your voicemail." I was like, no, like, what's up? And what's going on, man?
That should be our tagline, referralmortgages.com. The only brokers that always answer their phone.
No, but he's just my friend. He was calling me for, like, he wanted to tell me a story. And so
I have to tell you now.
I'm like mid-email, and I'm thinking, I'm not into it. Like, tell me the story, like, whatever, okay? But then he starts to, so he's like, oh, well, that's a good thing that you're busy. I'm like, well, yeah, it's good, but we also have to be able to service the busyness, right? If we can't service it, then we're dropped. Then it's just as bad as not being busy, right? If you're, you got to keep that momentum going, and that momentum's so important. So I was like, so I made an analogy to, I made a funny analogy to him that maybe is not appropriate now, but it's along the lines of performing. If you're not going to perform well, maybe you shouldn't be performing that.
1:30 in performance. We know.
Right.
1:30 in the morning. We know.
So he starts getting. He needs to tell me the story. He's like, man, okay, you'll never believe like what happened with my dad. And so his dad has a prescription medical marijuana card, okay, and he orders prescription marijuana all the time. This year, he ordered some seeds, and I don't even know if that's how the legality there, but there's.
You can grow your own if you have the license.
Yeah, okay, so you can grow your own.
So I think it's 3 plants, so there's like a set limit.
So
hearsay.
So
Friends and family.
It's gonna be legal.
So, as per usual, a lot of medical marijuana users, they order their stuff online and stuff. So this year, early May, he ordered his seeds, okay? Because he figures, I guess, this year he's gonna try growing it himself. So he pays for express shipping, okay? And literally 12 days have gone by, okay? And if you're paying for express shipping, it should be 3 to 4 days you have the product, okay? You're not paying for express shipping to get it 15 days later, okay? So he sends an email to the company and says, hey, like, just wondering where my order is. I paid for express shipping, like, you said you're using this company, it should take 3 to 4 days kind of thing. Please let me know. Thank you. So he gets an email response fairly quickly saying, well, maybe if you weren't sitting on an ass all day and like wait till May to order seeds, maybe you would have got them a lot earlier. You should have ordered them in December. Literally, no doubt.
The company's buying from?
So literally dropping F-bombs as a response. And I'm like, so now my friend has me in the story. I'm like, okay, let's go. Like,
Closes the laptop.
and
Continue.
And so it's like his dad responds. I'm like, is this the company responding to me, or is this a third party responding to me? If it's the company, I have no words. And the guy replies that no, it is the company. You should be lucky that I'm even delivering you a product. Okay, so you just wait there, be patient, and wait till you get your seeds. And he's just like baffled, and I'm like, Dill. That's a classic example of like
That's insane.
too much, not being able to handle your service. Like that guy is flustered right now. Clearly, he's getting way too many orders, way too much business, and
scale properly.
And he's taking it out on his clients, asking just like for an update on where my service, on where my order is.
Right.
And a classic example, I guarantee you there's some other clients of his
Well,
that have
absolutely.
experienced
But to that point, that the son has told you, you've told us, that he's been told here. We haven't even, you haven't said the company name, which I guess is fortunate for him, but who really cares? You might as well. But nobody's going to want to order from them. So right now he's flustered because he can't scale properly, but he's killing his own business.
He's flustered when he's bankrupt.
Yeah, when he's a slower market after the summer, whenever it is, that now his business dropped off because he's made this outlandish one response, but it can go for all of our businesses that if you're not on, you don't scale properly, you can't handle the business or the volume you're getting, and it's poor customer service. It's it's going to be told to 10 people. That one person has a bad experience.
That's wild.
10, 100.
We have basically that much in the office. Like if your phone rings, you drop it. Doesn't matter what you're doing. If your phone rings, you pick it up and you're on that call. Like you'll see all of us all the time just pacing around the office with our headphones and like talking because you got to be available. You got to be ready for people, and it all comes back to that customer service, right?
I always have to walk.
I know. I can't talk to
pick it up and late. Just walking around.
Just like 10 feet back and forth.
It's actually that's how we work as people, because I do the exact same thing. Basically, as you're walking, I forget what it is. There's an actual scientific explanation to it where
Blood flow.
blood flows something. Because guys, I'm sure all the ladies out here know this. We suck at multitasking, and so the more moving parts, the more creativity, the more energy.
Right.
So I could be sitting on the phone talking to you like this, and then I get up and I'm like, "Hey man, how's it going? I actually want to hear about your life." But anyways, so
Yeah. Did you stand up at your desk last night when you got to the good part? You're like, whoa.
He was listening. He was listening.
I was definitely too tired, but it's funny because if you walk into this office at any given point, you can see the three of us just pacing around.
Even outside, sometimes in front of the office, just pacing back and forth.
It's like the Wolf of Wall Street in here, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta win.
All right, we'll close on your win. We'll wrap it up with your win.
Blue Panda is representing Windmill Developments, their property up at Whitewater area, part of town, just outside of Cobden, Whitewater Village. Amazing luxury condos, luxury cottages that you can have for fractional ownership. So it's basically a timeshare, and I have been put in charge of dealing with the sales
Great
for
family.
these new phases of the development.
How far is that from Ottawa?
We're just working on the specifics, but if anyone's interested, you can check out whitewatervillage.ca. You can message me directly. We stayed there last weekend just to test it out with the family. Absolutely amazing properties. They're luxury cottages, 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, loft area, deck, screened-in porch, outside deck. Just fantastic, and it's right at Whitewater Village, or Whitewater Wilderness Tours. Excuse me, where I did whitewater rafting a few years ago. Horseback riding, whitewater rafting, like lots of stuff for the kids, kayaking, canoe. It's about an hour.
That's a huge one.
It's an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah.
What are they starting at?
Working on the new pricing right now.
Okay.
So I'll fill you in more, but that was my big
4
win for
seasons
the week.
also?
So it is 4 seasons.
Easily financeable. So
Yeah, and it's like, and the options there. You can buy
somewhat financeable.
You can buy one, or you can have fractional ownership. And on average, they find that people use their cottages for a maximum of about 5 weeks a year.
Yeah.
So you get those 5 weeks for your ownership piece. Or I mean, if you want it all year round, you can buy the whole thing, and we'd even rent it out for you.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
So let's wrap it up here. Going into the long weekend, guys, anyone tuning in, tag your BFF on either of these feeds, and you automatically qualify for...
Because that's your chance. Because that's your chance to win. They had talked about their wins, and you guys got to celebrate yours at BFF.
Hey.
Tag a friend.
And a big thank you to Jamil for taking the time out of your day to come in and chat with us.
Love
I think
you
got a lot going on right now, so
thank you,
that's
everybody.
awesome. And thanks to everyone tuning in. Have a safe long weekend, and we'll see you guys next Friday on the Friday wrap up. Do it. Okay, those